Kansas State makes it official today.
Yeah, the university hiring Casey Alexander as the next men's basketball coach. Brock Wilson joins us with the terms of his contract.
Mike, Casey Alexander is getting a 5-year, $17 million contract to become the next head coach of the Wildcats. He led the Belmont Bruins to the Missouri Valley regular season title this year before losing in the conference tournament quarterfinals. Alexander has spent the last 7 seasons at Belmont, and he's had some success. His teams won 3 regular season championships, but they never played in the NCAA tournament with him at the helm. The Wildcats hoping to change that. At K-State, he'll replace Jerome Tang, who was fired last month. Tang disputing the for-cause nature of his dismissal, which would void an $18.7 million buyout. In a statement today, K-State Athletic Director Gene Taylor said in part, "We had significant interest in our job from numerous talented and successful coaches from around the country. What was evident throughout the search was the positive reputation of K-State basketball and of the coaches. We talked with Casey, emerged as the one who best fit our program." The 5-year deal will pay Alexander $3.3 million for this upcoming season. He'll receive a $50,000 base increase each year after that, and he'll be introduced next Monday. Mike?